come on in and have a seat. We're so excited to bring this webinar to you this evening on our Monday night series for the month of June. The webinar is being recorded and the PowerPoint will be made available afterwards. Your microphone has been muted at the appropriate time by raising your hand or asking a question. We will have some live questions toward the end of the webinar. And if you've got any thoughts or comments, go ahead and type them into the question box so that we can begin to answer those as we go along, and also save some of the very best ones to be answered live by our panelists tonight. We're excited you're here. This is step 7, 8, 9, and 10 of the new club development webinar series. It's the final push to the charter. We've covered the first 6 steps in the past 3 weeks, and now tonight we're going to finish strong with a great panel. And tonight with us is Vice President Brian Sheehan. Vice President Brian, would you share with us your biggest takeaway from this series?
You know, Jerome, this has been an absolute great series, and thank you for moderating it and all the great speakers we've had on this. We've had a lot of great registrants here, and it's a very popular. I've taken away a lot from this series. Seriously, it's not something I've done a lot of going out and starting up new clubs. So from every step, from 1 through 10, there's something I've taken away, but especially in the sharing and the questions and answers. And I know tonight's not going to be any different. What I'm hoping to take away tonight is I'm hoping in the sharing and the questions that I want to know, we have a big investment in these new clubs from our district. I want to learn how we're going to be able to keep them 1 year, 2 years, 3 years down the road. So I'm looking forward to Jerome. Teach me.
Vice President Brian, there's nothing that you could be taught. You are already the most knowledgeable Vice President on here tonight. And so we appreciate you being here and sharing. I am Jerome Thompson. I have the opportunity to be the Global Action Team Constitution Area 1 team leader. And it is such a pleasure to get to work with each and every one of the area leaders in CA1. And joining me tonight as my co-host is Past District Governor Rob Hill, who is the Constitution Area 2 leader and works with the area leaders across Canada. Lion Rob, what has been your biggest takeaway from this whole series?
Thank you, Past International Director Jerome. My takeaway from this series has been the excitement that we've seen from all our presenters in giving us the ability to go out and build new clubs, and also seeing all of the marvelous Lions out there that have taken their time to come and learn all about this process.
Thank you so very much, Lion Rob. And you know, I've thoroughly enjoyed this webinar series because every Monday night I've taken notes and I've learned new things. But the one thing that has really stuck with me, and I wished I remembered exactly who made the point, is that every Lion in the district can be part of starting a new club, because we may know someone, friends, families, relatives, neighbors, past acquaintances who live in this town where the club is being chartered. And if we'll pass that information to the extension team, then we turn a cold call into a warm call, and we're reaching out to people that already know the impact that Lions Clubs International has made in another community and in the lives of our members. You know, it's a process. Lion Rob mentioned the process. That first step was picking a community and then developing and bringing our team together. We learned so much as we talked about that research that needed to be done, and we talked about how to promote that new club. We recruited some charter members. We've conducted that informational meeting, and tonight we're going to step through the last 4 steps, conducting that organizational meeting. We're going to talk about submitting that charter application. We're going to talk about that charter approval, and then that continued development, how that we're going to walk alongside this club, how that we're going to improve the retention and expand our footprint of service, and what we can do so that this club is viable and visible and vibrant for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 25 years and beyond. I'm so excited that we're going to get to do this. Lion Rob, let's get everyone engaged in a poll to start with.
Thank you, Lion Jerome. So we'll start our poll here. We'll give you about 15 seconds to answer this. So we would ask everybody to answer this right away. How helpful have the other webinars in this series been? You have a choice of a lot, a little, or this is your first.
And the Jeopardy music is playing, and it's almost about to come to an end. I hope everyone has registered their vote, and the results are, drum roll, a lot. Thank you so very much, because we have made it our goal and objective to share meaningful information with our Lions, because Lions will continue to meet with us just like our clubs if we do not waste their time, if there's something important they can walk away with. So thank you so very much for that. Tonight, we're going to talk about that final push to charter. We're going to talk about the steps of this process, that conducting that organizational meeting. We're going to learn tonight about how that the members vote for the officers, how that we decide on service projects, and we encourage them to continue to recruit new Lions to their newly formed club. We're also going to talk about step 8, gathering those required documents. We're going to talk about submitting that information to Lions Clubs International. We're going to then move to step 9, that charter process, what the materials that are sent out look like. We're going to talk about that celebration and those charter members and how special they are to our association. And finally, we're going to talk about step 10, the role of the sponsoring club and the role of the guiding Lions. You know, guiding Lions are just that, they're guiding. They're sort of like the bumpers at the bowling alley. They keep us out of the ditches and in the middle of the road. It's a lot like parenting. We cannot always hold on to every decision, but we simply instill values and character so the club will move in the right direction and keep moving in a positive direction. Guiding Lions are there to guide, but not to direct. We're so excited. Lion Rob, share with us what we hope to walk away with this evening.
Okay, just a second. I lost my page here. Sorry. Somebody shuffled my cards on me.
You want me to help you just a little there, Lion Rob?
Here, I got it. Thank you.
Awesome.
I'm sorry.
You're perfect.
Our objectives tonight are to gain knowledge and understanding on conducting the organizational meeting of our new club, to gain knowledge and understanding on the new club charting process, and to help understand the next steps once chartering is achieved. There's many things in these that we will learn this evening to gain knowledge and to continue development in the future. We have this evening 3 extension specialists, and Jerome will introduce them to you now.
Thank you, Lion Rob. I'm so excited because we've got 3 experts in their fields, people who can close the deal and move those charter members through an organizational meeting, through a charter process, and celebrate the successes. Tonight, we've got past District Governor Donna Landwehr and her husband, Lion past District Governor Bill Landwehr from Minnesota. Together, they have helped to form over 35 clubs, mostly in multiple district 5M. Minnesota, which is international, crosses into Canada, and we're so proud to have them. Lion Donna, Lion Bill, why do you get excited about forming new clubs?
Past District Governor Jerome, thank you. I enjoy going out and starting new clubs because I love to talk to people. I love to talk to them about Lionism, and I feel that there is no other organization that comes close to Lions.
Thank you so very much, past District Governor Bill. And now we've got the lovely Miss Lion Donna.
Thank you, Lion, or Jerome. I enjoy meeting people and talking about women and family members in Lions. I get passionate about forming new clubs because I can meet so many wonderful people in Lions and around the world and make lots of new friends.
That is awesome. Thank you so very much. And also joining us tonight is Lion Pablo Romano. Lion Pablo is very active with our Leos, but also very active as a new club consultant. He resides in New York. He has helped our association charter over 50 clubs in CA1 and the Caribbean. He is bilingual, and so if you need a Lion who knows Spanish and can relate to the Hispanic community, Lion Pablo is your man. He will bring a club to your town with his fluent language of Spanish. Lion Pablo, thank you for joining us tonight, and share with us for just a second why you enjoy forming new clubs. Go ahead and cut your mic on there.
There you go. Okay, buenas noches, PID Jerome. And to all the Lions watching, hello from the Big Apple. So why do I enjoy chartering new clubs? And I have to circle back to PDG William. This is one of the best organizations in the world of service. And personally, when I visit a town, it gives me the opportunity to share the organization I love with people in these communities that might not have a place to serve their communities, and to encounter service and to learn leadership. And believe it or not, I love Lions, and I love sharing it with new people. And so if you want to bring a new Lions club, call me and I'll come out and I'll do everything I can to charter a new club. Thank you, PID Jerome.
Thank you, Lion Pablo. We have already come through the first 6 steps. We have had that informational meeting. We have the crowd fired up. They've turned in their membership applications. They've paid their dues. And tonight is step number 7, that organizational meeting. Lion Bill, Lion Donna, will you take us through that organizational meeting?
Well, when we do an organizational meeting, we do it a little bit different than some areas do. We go and start out by picking up the cards like this here and the money that is to start the we call startup dues. From then on, we go and we have I run the meeting like a regular Lions meeting would be. I ask them to stand up and pledge the flag. After we pledge the flag, I tell them a little bit about Lionism in general, and then I go on and I introduce the Lions that are there, not by their titles, just their names. After that's done, I go ahead then and I take and have each member stand up, tell their name and what they do in the area. After we get done with that,
we do service projects. We ask the club members when we sign them up. We all ask what the projects they need in their town. They said, well, we need ball field repairs, we need playground equipment, plant flowers in the city, ramps for elderly, eyeglasses and hearing aids we can do for service projects. Then we set another date for the meeting.
And why do we set this meeting? Because we want to make sure that they're going to have a meeting very shortly. And we give them the names of people that we talked to that said they might join at a later date. They're too busy right now, or we can't do it because I'm involved in some other things. So we give the members that already have signed up these names and ask them to talk to these people and ask them to come to a meeting. We feel that if they come to a meeting and see how the Lions Club meeting functions, they probably will join. Because we insist that we would like to have 20 to 30 new members.
Going back up, we explained the club charter process, and they completed an application on My LCI with the club sponsor. Then the post-meeting follow-up, we set up new club officers training, which the guiding lines and the sponsoring club can help those officers go online for training. Encourage new members to continue promoting membership.
When we pick the club officers, I have Donna read off the criteria of what the president's job is all about, secretary, treasurer.
For recruiting members, we ask the new members to get more members in. They can ask their family and friends and business associates. Then we follow up with the interest people that had been asked and would not join, that we can still go back and ask those people to, if they come to a meeting, to join. The reference for this is on My LCI, start a new club, and on new club development. Then the next part of it is application submission. What they need is the governor fills in this, or the sponsoring club secretary, treasurer, or the GMT person. They send it into Lions Club International. They put the name of the club, the name of the sponsoring club, the name of the new officers' names, all go in, and we should have at least 20 to 25 members. Club criteria is a box you check after you have read the information, confirming the understanding of it. Comments is an additional information if needed by LCI. You can put your club in there and ask if you have any other questions, like maybe you can name a deceased individual for your club name also. So we'll go with a poll now. Rob?
Thank you, PDG Donna. And our poll is
Sure.
going to run for about 15 seconds here. So if everybody can get ready and answer the poll. Should you elect officers at an organizational meeting? And so your responses can be yes, no, or not sure. And Jerome will read the results for us.
Thank you, Lion Rob. Everyone is voting very quickly, and the results are 69% believe that the officers should be elected at an organizational meeting, 21% say no, and 10% are not sure. As we go through this, Lion Pablo will share with us that step 8, that new club chartering, and as he does that, Lion Pablo, do you mind to weigh in on the question, should we elect officers at that organizational meeting? Lion Pablo, take it away.
In my opinion, yes, I always do. So go ahead and do them. All right, so now we're going to discuss step 8, which is naming your club. And this is very important because you always want to get a very good name for your club, and especially a catchy one, so that you can recruit more members down the line. So things to remember when naming your club. Always use the name of the municipality where the club is being chartered. So for example, if you were in New York, you could use Queens, which would be the municipality, but you can also use the town, the city, the village, and I also throw in there, and I think LCI should include it, neighborhoods, because in New York City, we have neighborhoods and we like to name our clubs after our neighborhoods. So always remember, naming your club, the first feature that has to appear on your name is the municipality. Then, many clubs choose to use a distinguishing designation. And what does this mean? Something unique to your own club. So, for example, my club, we are Queens Centennial. Queens being the county, Centennial because we were chartered when the Centennial celebration was chartered, and we were the first club to get chartered in my district. So that made us unique. So we used the term Centennial. So this could be anything. If you're chartering a club with all teachers, it could be, location, educators. If it's all doctors, medical. If it's all Harley riders, Harley riders. But whatever makes your club unique to you, okay? One thing to remember is not to name your clubs after living people. I visited areas where they always want to name someone, put someone's name that's still living in their club name. Please, you cannot do that. The person has to be deceased. And if I'm not mistaken, they have to be a past international president is what you may use. If you're using someone else's name, I know LCI staff will ask for more clarity on who the person was, and and then they'll make that determination if that's a suitable name. Also, another restriction when naming clubs: do not use the term international. We only have one international, and that's Lions Clubs International. So, yes, that's all the points for naming a club. We can go to the next slide. Application submission. So this is the fun part, because that means we have a club, and this is the part I like, because who is responsible for application submission? And that's easy: district governor, GMT coordinator, the coordinating Lion, or the person who is helping to form the club in the area, in the community. The sponsoring club president or the sponsoring club secretary are those that have access to submitting an application. Next bullet point: where do we submit your applications? Simple. www.lionsclubs.org, and you visit My LCI. When you log in, you look for the toolbar where it says New Club Application, and that's where you start the process for the application. Club sponsor. So all clubs have a club sponsor. This could be, in some cases, you could also have a secondary club sponsor. I've encountered in my visits in some districts where a club in the next district or in the neighboring district wants to be the sponsor. That cannot happen. So if you have two sponsors, the primary has to be from the district where the new club will be chartered. The secondary club can be from another district. If you have no club sponsors, we now are able to allow districts to be the sponsor of the new club, or the zone or the region are able to do that. And that makes it much easier in finding a sponsor. So what is the size of a Lions Club? That's 20 is what the required number by Lions International. Something I recommend when visiting clubs is to always aim for 25, because something we always see with new clubs is that within the first 6 months, there's always a trend of losing 5 to 6 members. You always have those that are the insecure ones, that they join and then they determine that it wasn't for them, but that's normal. But if you have 25, that increases the sustainability by 70% if you charter with 25 or more members. So aim for that. Okay, my suggestion. All right, next point. Guiding Lions, very important, are guiding Lions. So this could be any Lion and is appointed by the district governor. Lions International requires 1 guiding Lion as of now. Obviously, if you have the opportunity to appoint 2, I highly recommend it, because it is a lot of work. Guiding Lion is at all meetings, all activities. Technically, I always refer to them as the babysitter, because they're there to mentor and to guide. Not to direct, but to guide, to mentor, suggest, and recommend to the new club, because they're just getting their feet wet. So very important, identify someone that has experience as a guiding Lion and that has been successful. It's very, very important. If you are able to appoint 2, let the primary one be someone seasoned, the second one be a freshman guiding lion, so that person can learn, because everybody can certify, but not everybody is meant to be a guiding lion. So that's reality. Okay, my LCI access. So who has access? Anyone that is the designated person will have login access, password, and authorization. Okay, employee identification number, very important. So once you start the application process, and that first step pretty much includes the name of the club. Once LCI authorizes that first step, that means the name is good, and we highly recommend that you automatically, the guiding lion or someone in the district, assist the new club in applying for their EIN number, their employee identification number, and this will assist so that once the club is chartered, the club can immediately open its bank account and start doing business as any other club. Next. All right, so now we come to the dues. This is very important. One of the reasons why we lose members in new clubs is because, and I hear a lot is, oh, they didn't explain it to me right. And then people leave. So it's very important we know how to explain this, that we know how to sell it, because depending on how you express these things will determine how successful you are in recruiting them. So let's start with the most important, entrance fee. The entrance fee is $35 for existing clubs and new clubs, okay? LCI made it much easier by making it one universal fee, which was $35. And that's a one-time fee for all new members. So once you pay that, and once the club is chartered, the club will then choose what its club dues will be. And this will assist the club in paying their district, multiple district, and international dues during the year. One thing I recommend to new clubs when I visit is the average dues in the US is between $7 to $10 a month. And one of the ways to also better explain dues is also to explain it monthly. Sounds nicer when you say it's $10 a month than when you say it's $120 a year. So that's club dues. International dues are $43 a year. They are billed semi-annually to the club. If the club is chartered within the year, it is prorated. So what are some of the discounts that Lions International offers to our members? We have the family program, the family unit program, which is $21.50 international dues after the first family member is chartered, joins. So the first member pays $43 annually, and then anyone after them is $21.50. Student members, $21.50 and no entrance fee, okay, up to the age of 30. Transfer members pay $20 if they were in a club over the past 12 months. So that means if the person left a month and a day or a month and a month, a year and a month, they are required to pay the $35. So within that 12-month range, they're eligible for the $20. Oh, this one is easy to recruit. Veterans and Lioness. Well, no, the veterans are much easier. Lioness are a little more work, but we can get there. Veterans and Lioness pay no entrance fee through 2021. Okay, for the veterans, there is a form online. You fill out, you submit to Lions International, and that the entrance fee will be waived. The same thing for the Lioness. There are appropriate forms on the website that you can fill out. Former Leos like myself, no entrance fee. There's just a simple form for you to transfer into Lions, and so no entrance fee for Leos. Leo Lions, it's $21.50 and no entrance fee up to the age of 35. All right, thank you so much, PID Jerome.
Lion Pablo, you are just so dynamic in explaining that, and we sure appreciate it. Once again, we're getting all of our audience engaged. Who can sponsor a club? We've got about 15 seconds, and please select one: a club, a region, a zone, a district, or all the above? And then Lion Rob will read the results when they're available.
Okay, if we can have the results now, we'll look at these, and it shows 14% thought clubs, but actually all of the above are appropriate in this one. So something to remember about that when you're chartering your new clubs. I'm pleased to reintroduce past district governors Donna and William Landwehr, who will take us through steps 9.
Okay, charter material.
Charter material is sent out by Lions Club International. Now, before we started charter night, I hope when they picked a charter night chairman, but I hope that chairman don't take it on him or herself. I hope they get members of their club and members from the sponsoring club, the Guiding Lion, and a little bit of help from the governor. Now, when you get this material, I hope that the governor will open it up and look at the charter to make sure that everything is spelled right and everything is filled in with the proper dates and everything else. In that packet, there will be a certificate. This certificate needs to be filled out, meaning at the top in bold letters, either somebody that has nice handwriting, done its calligraphy, or done it through the computer and filled out the other questions that where there's blanks, get that all done at the same time. Now, the governor more than likely has picked a person to speak at that. That person could be international director, a past international director, or maybe a vice president or someone else. When that person will more than likely go and swear in the members. We do that first, so everybody is online. And then we go and we swear in the officers. Always we add, if they would like to do something to have a little more fun. We want this night to be a fun night, not so serious. Yes, you're serious to a point, but not all the way. We want you to go and to maybe have a silent auction. And remember, those monies you get off the silent auction can go into your activities. I always tell them there's 2 accounts. What comes from the Lion must go back to the, or can be in with the Lions in the activity, in the administrative account. What comes from the Lions must go back to the Lions.
Okay, charter night members, joining within 90 days, our charter member dated will be considered charter members. There are 2 different dates, a charter date and a charter night are 2 separate. The 90-day charter member is based off the charter. If the charter is after the 90 days, all members joining during the night are considered regular members. Okay, Rob, you can do your poll.
Thank you very much, Donna. So we're going to do this poll, and it'll be about 15 seconds. Who typically coordinates the charter night celebration? Sponsoring club, district officers, Guiding Lions, or club organizers? So we can see the results now. Has everybody finished their polling? So the club organizers and the sponsoring club are kind of in there. Sponsoring clubs usually look after that. It's kind of recommended to ensure that you involve a lot of people in this, because this is very important to the new club. So the sponsoring club should set up a committee consisting of district officers, the Guiding Lions, and the charter club as well, so that everybody has and input on this. So it's my pleasure to reintroduce Lion Pablo Romano for the next steps here.
Thank you, PG Rob. Okay, so now we're gonna continue with step 10. So once the club has been developed, it is important to continue to develop the club to ensure that the club is strong and viable. One of the #1 reasons districts don't retain new clubs longer than a year is because clubs don't have a strong support system. So one of the things to always remember, the sponsoring club should be the #1 mentor for a new club. Club officers, mentoring the new officers is crucial, and I always recommend it to build that bond. You know, if you know you're going to be the sponsoring club for a new club, be there from day one when we're starting to charter the new club. Even when the consultant comes in, if someone from the sponsoring club wants to be there, it's always good because you start building that relationship with those new members, so that when the club is chartered, it's not someone that they're just meeting for the first time, but it's someone that they've already become friendly with and that they trust. New clubs do have Guiding Lion support. That's crucial. Remember that Guiding Lions is not for everyone. It has to be someone that is willing to commit for 2 years, because that means this person is going to be there at all meetings, at all fundraisers, service project activities, mentoring and guiding this club. Remember, some of these people might have never belonged to a service organization, or don't know how to run an organization, and they need that guidance. So that Guiding Lion is there to suggest and recommend and sit in the background. Something I always recommend is the Guiding Lions not sit around the table, but sit outside the circle, so that the club feels it's their meeting, and the Guiding Lion can give suggestions afterwards in private, because many times a lot of Guiding Lions like to give suggestions in front of everybody, and sometimes make officers feel very awkward in that, and that's one thing you don't want to do. So building that bond and trust with the new officers is very important, because you want to be able to show that they know what they're doing as much as you're guiding them behind the scenes. And always remember these 2 words: suggestion, recommendation. You know, and not to use the term, well, in my club we do, you know, yes, in your club, but that was a while ago. You know, now in 2020, we want to give them the opportunity to develop their own way of doing it using your suggestions, and they can tweak it to accommodate themselves. So Guiding Lion support is very important. And then once the club is chartered, in my opinion, once we elect the officers at that organizational meeting is when I kind of suggest to let them run the show a little, because it gives them ownership over their club, and they start building that pride, you know. And but obviously, once the club is chartered, you know, we start transitioning power to the new officers, to start taking control of their meetings, their activities, and delegating responsibilities within members and officers. Okay, but I wish all of you good luck in chartering, and remember, you can call upon me if you need me to come help you. Thank you.
Lion Pablo, you've done a great job leading us through that final step 10 toward that celebration. And this is our last poll for the evening. After charter night, is your job done? Yes, no, or not sure? Let's take about 15 seconds. Let's answer that question. Let's all get engaged. We're excited to move right on through this and almost have time for questions. Okay, and now the results. After charter night, is your job done? No, it is not. As a matter of fact, if you're a Guiding Lion for a club, you've built a relationship with that club that it will last for a lifetime. There will be opportunities 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road where that club comes back to their Guiding Lions and asks for guidance or advice, or invites them back to install officers. We're in a relationship building organization. When we form relationships in our community and when we form relationships with the members, then we have a stronger organization. And those relationships are built by patting one another on the back from time to time and passing out a few awards. And new club development is no different than everything else. There's awards to be passed out. There's the Extension Award that can be given up to 2 Lions who assisted in the development of that club. There's the District Governor Extension Award that's given to the governor who led the charge. He empowered those to form a new club in a new community and expand our footprint of service. If that new charter club has 10 or more family members, then they get a special banner patch for a family membership. There's new club sponsor patches to be given to the sponsoring club or the sponsoring district. If it's a campus club, there's a special new campus club patch to be passed out. And if it's a branch, then that club branch award is given to that branch liaison as they begin to share their knowledge with that branch and get them working with that family, with that host club. Also, there's an exciting opportunity here too, and we're going to award all of our new members from July 1st to December 31st of 2020 with a fee waiver. You can join any club in the world and not pay an entrance fee, whether that's a charter member or a regular member coming in. And so while we've focused on starting clubs early, July and August, and the Jumpstart program to recognize governors who do that, we also are encouraging each Lion tonight and each Lion around the world to ask someone to join their club during the first 6 months so we can get that waiver of all entrance fees. Lion Rob, I think now it's your opportunity to share with us the points that you would like for us to walk away with tonight and open it up for questions. Thank you very much for allowing me to participate this evening.
Thank you, Lion Jerome. As we complete this training, I want to provide you with a few points to remember as it relates to the new club information. Understanding the needs of the community is the first step in forming a successful club. Knowing what the community needs and understands, you'll find that out when you do your community needs assessment. Building a strong new club's support team will help to retain new members and create healthy clubs. Having strong guiding lions, having the support from the district, and having the support from the sponsoring club and surrounding clubs for this new club will ensure that they're healthy and that they will be around for a long time. Relationships with the community officials and businesses who will support that club and aid in the club's promotion. It's important to have good relations with the community officials and the businesses and include them in the new club. A well-planned information meeting and organizational meeting leaves a lasting impression on the new members. Do a great job. Do your homework. Make sure that you have all the appropriate information there and all the appropriate documents to share with these new members. Lions Clubs International program staff are available to provide support during the entire process. If you have questions, reach out to any of the staff members at Lions Clubs International. They're more than pleased to point you in the right direction to ensure that you have the correct information and that everything gets done in a timely manner. Show your passion and have fun building new clubs. When you're having fun, other people are having fun. And when we go out and are working with these new clubs, it's fun to see these people out there and being excited about doing great things in their community and providing the service that is needed. So we'll open it up to questions now, and I think our staff may have some questions from the questions box or the chat box. So
Hi, PDG Rob. This is Christy here. We actually have DG Brent Johnson. DG Brent, I'm muting you.
Hi, District Governor Rob, past District Governor Rob. Is it better to rebuild an old tired club, or is it better to charter a new one?
Well, there's two thoughts there. Is the old tired club ready to pass it out, or would they be interested in forming a branch club? Because we know that the club branches would give them the opportunity to have their own information. There's room in most communities for two clubs, and Lion Daniel earlier in our session told us all about this, how he started as a club branch. They had 6 members, and now 3 years later they have 130 members in their newly chartered club. So that's a really great question, and Jerome is smiling there. I think he's hoping that he can get a chance to say something too. So Jerome.
Lion Rob, I was just so pleased that you got the fastball thrown at you. You know, sometimes we have some clubs that are on life support, and to use a medical term, they're just on life support. And some of them have already hung out the do not resuscitate sign. And so we as leaders must honor the wishes of that club. If they're all in and they're wanting to get well, they're wanting to get healthy, then we need to invest in them just as our medical doctor would. And if they are ready just to give up the ghost, it's time for us to call hospice and let hospice nurse them and keep them serving as long as they can, and then be ready to birth a new baby in that community as soon as possible, because every community has a need, and where there's a need, there's a lion. And we, working together, must decide which is best, to nurse that club back to health or to start another club in that community.
Thank you, Lion Jerome. Christy, do you have any more questions for us there?
Hi, Lion Rob. This is Karina. I have a question from a lion. How much formality do new younger lions want?
Well, you know,
Bill.
Lions Clubs International come out with a great program a few years ago. It's called Your Club, Your Way. And we should make sure that the clubs understand that. There is formalities and there are nice things that should be done. We should all be respectful of other lions and respectful of the lions that have done a lot of work in Lions Clubs International. However formal the club wants to have their meetings is entirely up to them. They still need to follow the rules. Robert's Rules of Order is the best way to go with your meetings. But if you go to some of the older clubs where you are required to stand and go behind your chair and address everybody as Lion Jerome or Lion Christy, maybe they don't want to do that. That's entirely up to them. That's their decision.
Lion Rob, I also, excuse me, I'm sorry. I also found when we formed a campus club, that campus club was less about the formalities and more about the business of serving. And so, as you said, your club, your way. And now that we have the North American Membership Initiative, it's almost your district, your way. Stay within the guidelines of our Constitution and bylaws, but do what you must do in order to expand our footprint of service, to expand our core of volunteer members, and to expand leadership opportunities. Formality is good for those communities and those clubs that like it, but it is destructive when we force it upon those that don't want it. Other questions?
Yes, PAD Jerome, we actually do have a question from a lion. I think it's a really good one. Asking for club officers, should we transfer an experienced member to be a club officer to get the club started?
Lion Rob, what do you think?
My personal opinion is no. I really believe that the new club should be a new club, and they should find their own way with assistance. Sometimes it's destructive to bring in someone to try and lead them. They have guiding lions that will lead them in on the right path. And I really think that to bring in somebody to try and be part of that new club would be, in some instances, not a wise move.
Well, and Lion Rob, once again, I think that this is one of those individual thoughts. We may have a lion who wants to start a club in their community. They've been traveling 5, 10, 15 miles to their club meeting for years, and now they've got a core group of friends that wants to form a club in their community, and transferring into that club and then providing some leadership and some guidance may be what works for them. I don't think there's a hard or fast answer. It's what works for your district and that new club, because at the end of the day, we want them to be viable and visible and vibrant for another decade or two.
Well, exactly. And what you say there, Jerome, is really really good point. If it is in their home community and you're already in Lions and you would like to see a club in your community, then by all means. But to transfer a lion in from the sponsoring club, I'm a little sketchy on that one. So do we have another question there?
Yes, Lion Rob, this is Karina again. I have a question from a lion. Who picks club officers? Is it the new club consultant?
The new club members pick their own officers. It's important to make sure that everybody understands that this is their club. They choose who they are going to elect from their new membership roster. They should understand what the job description is, and that should be the only thing that is given to them. That, the president, the secretary, and the other executive officers, the treasurers, those are the people that you need to put on the charter. So they must be elected from the new club roster.
The role of the new club consultant when they come in, and we've had some great ones over this month who has shared a lot of outstanding information with us, but their role when they come in is to teach and train the district leadership on how to start that second and third club when they go home. And so it's coming in, modeling good practices for the 10 steps and helping district governor teams and district extension teams feel comfortable with the process. It's not to dictate the dues or the officers or anything else in the club, but it is to mentor the lions that are there so they can fully support and walk alongside these new clubs as we develop them, as we grow them into being all that they can be.
Thank you, Lion Jerome. Do we have another question?
Yes, we do. PDG Rob, we actually have VP Patty on the line, and she has a question. VP Patty, I am unmuting you.
Thank you so much. It's been great to circle back and hear this great presentation this evening, and watching the learning curve through the polls and the great information that you and the panel have shared. Here's my question. Will the GAT teams be offering this series again at a more local, regional area, possibly multiple district level? Because I know people who are online and have heard this will want to share this opportunity. Will you be offering it again soon?
Vice President Patty, this is Jerome, and thank you very much for joining us this evening. Our Global Action Team area leaders, along with staff, are in the process of developing a roadshow right now. And as part of that roadshow, we're going to take the North American Membership Initiative, and we're going to cover all 4 phases, and that is rejuvenating our districts with new clubs, motivating our clubs with exciting service and fellowship opportunities, and bringing new members into our clubs. Each of those areas, as well as leadership development and supporting our districts and clubs with exciting resources, will be covered during that roadshow. And each area leader will cover their area, and that will be open to our district governor teams, our North American Membership Initiative champions, our global action teams. As we move forward, then we will encourage all of those that we train to turn around and take that message to the zone and the club level, because our association actually works best at the club level. That's where our new leaders join. That's where most of our service is provided, and that's where that new members join our association. And so to answer your question, yes, this is an exciting time to be a Lion, because your global action team, 3 vice presidents from North America, your North American Membership Initiative Steering Committee have all joined forces and locked arms, stepping forward to form 200 clubs in CA1 and an additional 20 in CA2 in this coming year. And just think what it would be if 11,000 clubs each brought in 4 members, and we added 44,000 Lions to our clubs this year. Yes, we're going to have some who pass away. Yes, we're going to have some who say, I joined, but this isn't exactly for me. And then we're going to have positive membership growth for the first time in 38 years. Our new club development consultants are ready to go now and to help clubs do all the help districts form new clubs. Our global action team is ready now to help each club bring in new members and learn ways to better retain those members. I'm so excited to be a Lion, and I'm excited to lead us in Constitution Area 1. As Lion Rob is in Constitution Area 2, and I don't mean to dominate the time, Lion Rob, I just get so excited I talk too much.
No, I know it's great, and I really appreciate that, your comments there. And yes, the Global Action Team in Constitutional Area 1 and 2 will be leading the charge on new membership this year. We will be working with multiple districts and districts with their global action teams to ensure that the training's there, the service projects are being followed up on, and that the leadership training is available. And we will be working with the membership chairs to ensure that they are engaging the new club consultants. That is the most important thing in this part, is the new club consultants who will be there to teach our districts how easy it is to make new clubs out there.
Lion Rob, there's a lot of questions, but unfortunately we're at the bottom or the top of the next hour. And so do you want to take another question, or you want to wrap it up? Because it's all yours tonight.
Well, why don't we take one more question and then we'll wrap it up.
Lions, Rob and Jerome, we did have a question about the discount that's coming up can you talk to us a little bit more about that before we close the webinar?
About which?
I think the entrance waiver that starts July 1st, 2 days.
Oh, yes, the interest waiver. Yes, the Lions Clubs International have decided, because of the COVID-19 pandemic that's out there right now, that they are going to stop suspension or financial suspension and putting clubs into status quo, and they will give clubs the opportunity to bring their dues up to date by the end of December. So clubs who are struggling through this will have some time, and we will be the Global Action Team will be working with the districts and multiple districts to ensure that clubs aren't lost because of membership. we'll try and find some way to make sure that this happens.
Absolutely. And also then we're going to take the opportunity to open our doors and open our arms to those who would like to volunteer with us. And we're going to waive that entrance fee. So if you're coming into an existing club, no matter your age, no matter your interest, no matter if you're a student or a family member, the entrance fee is waived through December 31st, beginning July 1st. And if you're a charter member, that's a traditional club, a cyber club, a campus club, a branch club, those charter fees are waived as well. So you just begin to pay your membership dues. This is a great opportunity for us to take advantage of this offer of waiving the fees and bring in our friends, our families, and our neighbors, and grow our association from the 1.4 million members we've been talking about for years to 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, and beyond. This has been a great series. Next month, we won't have an every Monday night series, but we will have a few more webinars, and you can go to lionsclubs.org/virtual so that you can register for those. Lion Rob, thank you for letting me participate tonight.
Thank you, Lion Jerome. And I'd like to thank all our presenters this evening who participated, and the presenters from the past 3 webinars, our staff that put all of this work into these webinars and these PowerPoints for us. Without them, I would have been just overwhelmed. I'm almost overwhelmed at trying to keep up on what's happening with these webinars. I know the staff at Lions Clubs International have gone above and beyond to make sure that we have been successful in this, and to spend the extra time at answering the questions that didn't get answered during these webinars. Many questions, unfortunately, don't get answered through the webinars. So we really need to make sure that that gets done. I'm so pleased to see the large number of Lions that had the interest to take part in this webinar. And this has been very meaningful information for each and every one of us that we have had over the past 4 Mondays. It's exciting to see or to be involved in charters. I've had the opportunity to charter a few Lions clubs myself, be involved in those charters, and it's very exciting to see those new members coming in together and building their club, and how excited they are to get out into their community and show how caring they are. One of the things that I like to say to anybody in a new community that's doing a Lions Club is a Lion is a caring individual who wants to make their community a better place to live. Now, wouldn't you all like to be part of that? So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for participating in our webinar over the past 4 Mondays. And I look forward to seeing the reports where we have well over 220 new clubs across Constitutional Area 1 and 2. Lion Jerome, did you have anything else you'd like to say?
No, sir, just good night and recruit, recruit, recruit.
Okay, thank you everyone. Good night and recruit, recruit, recruit. See you at our next webinar.